This is Jake Pizicki with ACT Science Data Interpretation question. Now this question is one of those great questions that proposes a hypothetical situation and you have to use the data to support it or not. So this question is asking us, another group of botanists ran a similar experiment and concluded that both hydroponic farming and aeroponic farming produced similar growth, if not better, in lettuce plants than those grown with traditional agricultural techniques, yet required less water to do so. Do the findings of Table 1 and Table 2 support these researchers' findings? So just to clarify, these are the kinds of questions you have to understand what's going on in the passage a little bit to be able to answer effectively. And if you read the passage, we see that there are botanists that are testing different agricultural techniques to grow lettuce plants to see how much water is required and how much lettuce plants grow. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be checking to see if that hydroponic farming and aeroponic farming produce similar, if not better, growth than traditional lettuce plants. So if we're looking at the average height of the lettuce plants down here in Table 2, we want to see if the bed 2, the hydroponics plants, and bed 3, the aeroponics plants, produce better or similar growth, similar or better growth than the traditional plants. And we also want to check and make sure that if they require less water to do that. So up in Table 1 up here, we're going to check and see if the hydroponic plants and the aeroponic plants use less water than those traditional plants in bed 1. So let's go through our different answer choices, which will lead us through the process of answering this question. So answer choice A says yes, because the growth observed in beds 2 and 3 was similar to or surpassed that of bed 1, and the water requirement for beds 2 and 3 were similar to those of bed 1. So just remember here, we're looking for growth, which is going to be better than bed 1, and we're looking for water requirements, which are going to be less. So if we're looking at this answer choice, looking at Table 2 for the height, and see that on average, the height of the plants in beds 2 and 3 are as tall, about as tall, if not taller, than the traditional plants. The bed 2 is only 0.1 inch shorter than the plants in bed 1, and the plants in bed 3 are actually even taller than the plants in bed 1. So we can say yes, the growth of plants in beds 2 were similar or surpassed that of bed 1. So now we got the first part of the question is a yes. Let's check the second part. That the water requirements of bed 2 and 3 were similar to those of bed 1. Well, actually, the question's asking us if they use less water to do so. And if we look at Table 1, we actually see that every week they do require much less water to do so than the traditional plants do. But the option here tells us they use similar amounts of water. So the second part to this answer choice is wrong. And so the whole answer choice is wrong. Let's go to answer choice B. Yes, because the growth observed in beds 2 and 3 was similar or surpassed that of beds 1. So yes, same thing. And the water requirements for beds 2 and 3 were significantly lower than those of bed 1, which is what we saw the first time. So we got both of the answer choices are right, so this could be a right answer. No, because the growth observed in beds 2 and 3 was below that of bed 1, which we know is not true. The growth was on par or greater, and that the water requirements were similar to those, which is also wrong. So this answer is definitely wrong. And answer choice D, the growth in beds 2 and 3 matched that of bed 1. It actually matched or exceeded, and that the water requirements were above those of bed 1. So that's definitely wrong because the water requirements were much below bed 1. So even if we were a little unsure about this because 6.2 was a little bit below, even if we were a little unsure about this first part, the second part's definitely wrong. So the only question answer choice that has both parts of the answer correct is answer choice B. And you have to go through these questions just like that, checking all parts of the answer choice to make sure the whole part's right.